Hey guys, we're on Friday, May 8th. This is your U.S. World History class. Today your section is 24.2 about President Barack Obama. I know I did not put the page numbers on here, but it's all of 24.2, so just pages 391 to 393. And we're going to get into this. Alright, so in 2008, Hillary Clinton, the former First Lady and Senator from New York, became the first woman to be a leading contender in one of the major parties for president. Clinton started strong in her race to beat her challenger, Illinois Senator Barack Obama. But Obama clinched the Democratic nomination. The Republicans backed Arizona Senator John McCain, a former Vietnam veteran and prisoner of war, as their candidate. For their first time, two sitting senators would compete for the presidency. John McCain faced many obstacles in his run for the presidency. His age, the fact that he was considered too moderate by many conservatives, and the diminished popularity of the Republican Party gave an easy victory to Barack Obama. President Obama planned that he would tackle some of America's major problems, such as rising deficit spending and the problems with rising healthcare costs. While some Americans voiced concerns about Obama's lack of executive experience and his policies on things such as abortion and same-sex marriage, many felt that President Obama represented the changes that they wanted to see in America. For some, Obama's election confirmed in their hearts that America was truly a land of opportunity. At the time of 2012 elections, nationalized health care and the collapsing economy were major issues as President Obama and Massachusetts Governor Mitt Romney campaigned for the presidency. Promising he would bring about the change America still needed, Obama was once again voted as president. In 2007, the United States and much of the world entered into a financial crisis, beginning when many people began to sell overpriced homes they had bought earlier. With many homes being sold at one time, there was a drastic drop in the value of homes across the country. Many people were now left with a home that wasn't worth much less than what it was when they bought it. Sadly, many of them simply stopped making payments to the banks. Now, many banks did not have enough money to fulfill all of their financial obligations, and they found themselves owning many homes with little cash. The result of the crisis was that many people were out of work and the bank's cash reserves dried up. Some people said that if the banks closed, that would create a collapse in the whole financial system. In 2008, President Bush signed the Troubled Assets Relief Program, or TARP, in which the government agreed to buy some of the poor investments that the banks had made so that the banks could return their amounts of cash. In return, the banks would buy back those assets once they were in better financial shape to do so. However, the economy just kept spiraling downward. In 2009, President Obama signed the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act with the purpose of creating government jobs and spending with the hopes of jump-starting the economy. The result of these government policies was that economic recovery was slow, and many Americans were left unemployed and receiving government assistance. Under the Obama administration, bureaucratic government regulations climbed to over 130 new regulations that added a cost of $70 billion to the American people. Obama wanted to improve the American healthcare system by allowing all citizens to have health insurance that would be provided by the government. Both presidents, Truman and Clinton, had tried and failed to nationalize healthcare. However, in 2010, the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act passed. Most Americans opposed the law because in other countries with nationalized health care, such as the United Kingdom and Canada, the cost of health care increased and the quality of care decreased. Many Americans feared that health care would follow the same pattern in the United States. So let's look at some things he's done with the Supreme Court. Obama appointed several federal judges and 2 Supreme Court justices during his first term. When Justice David Souter announced his retirement, Obama appointed Sonia Sotomayor to be Souter's replacement on the Supreme Court. Obama then appointed Elena Kagan to replace Justice John Paul Stevens. So let's look at some of Obama's foreign policy. Let's look at Israel first. Obama believed that the main problem in the Middle East was the conflict between Israel and the Palestinians. He began to pressure Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to conform to a list of demands, reflecting Obama's lack of experience in foreign policy. After Obama's support within the American Jewish community began to decline, the administration was forced to take a softer approach toward Israel. President Obama's passive approach on foreign policies was notable during Obama's campaign when he said that the United States should not have gone to war with Iraq. Obama said that the focus of the war should be on the capture of Osama bin Laden. Once he became president, Obama announced a withdrawal of a number of American troops from the Middle East. By the end of 2011, all U.S. troops were withdrawn from Iraq, and plans were made to remove troops from Afghanistan as well. So let's look at his involvement with Russia. President George W. Bush had led an initiative to develop a missile defense system to better protect Americans. But President Obama began to cut back on the funding for the development of missile defense. In 2011, he signed a New START, a treaty with Russia's Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev. This treaty agreed to drastically reduce the number of missiles and nuclear warheads in both the United States and Russia. This became a concern to many, especially in 2014, when Russia threatened to take over Crimea, a portion of land near the Black Sea belonging to Ukraine. Although President Obama issued a warning, Russian troops were sent into Ukraine. As a way to lessen the crisis, U.S. troops were then sent to Eastern Europe countries in 2014. And that concludes today's lesson, guys. Make sure on 24.2 you finished the little section review, even number only. And I'll see you guys again next week.